Good morning, Potchefstroom. Welcome to another episode of Stroom Stories. And today's episode, we have a very, very special guest, Miss Onalenna Constantin, the second runner-up from the Miss SA pageant that took place earlier this month. Onalenna, welcome and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and speak with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So you can tell us a bit about your journey. How was your experience?
My experience was really rewarding from start to finish. I feel like I really stepped in and just made a whole lot of friends, friends that turned into sisters. I learned a lot from my experience, and I think I walked away with a lot of real good friendships and really memorable moments. So my journey was really rewarding.
That's lovely to hear. I can imagine having those ladies around you. You really grow close over the past few weeks.
It's true because we really experienced the same thing.
Yes.
As much as it's a competition, I feel like we had to anchor each other in a sense and just carry each, because nobody understands the journey more than the person going through it with you, you know?
Of course.
So we really had to rely on each other.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then what motivated you to participate in Miss South Africa this year?
This year in particular, it's always been a dream of mine to enter, but I always say my story inspired me to enter. I'm somebody that overcame gender-based violence, somebody that who was a victim of rape in a sense, and I knew that I wasn't the only one. Every single day we say somebody's name whose life has been taken away from them in the hands of somebody that deemed them unworthy of being on this planet or on earth. So I knew that I had to be a voice for those types of people. I knew that because I overcame, I could help somebody out there to overcome as well. That is why I entered Miss South Africa. There's never really a perfect time to enter. I just knew that this year was the year for me to go for it.
Oh, wonderful. And is that your main focus now, let's say after Miss South Africa? Is that one of the passions that you really want to advocate to?
Yes, that is something that I'm going to definitely continue with. Now that I have the Miss South Africa organization backing me, yes. I think that I am going to continue with this probably even after my affiliation with them, but I definitely want to continue with my advocacy.
Wonderful, wonderful. We spoke a bit earlier about why you went into law, and you mentioned something, and now it makes sense.
Everything just goes together, it flows.
Definitely. And then the most challenging part of the competition, what would you say that was for you?
Waking up in the morning, which is so crazy, but I'm not a morning person. So I'm the type of person that will stay up at night, and I definitely don't like waking up in the morning. Yes. So we had a lot of early mornings and late nights, but I don't like the morning. So that was the most challenging part of it. Everything else felt like a breeze in a sense, but the early mornings,
no. No, not a fan. Same. And a memorable moment or highlight for you throughout the whole competition?
Yeah, the sisterhood that I've created. I feel like I left there with long-lasting friendships. The ladies that were there really were backing me. We were backing each other in a sense, and I feel like that's the most memorable moment for me, is just having a sisterhood and having people that are surrounding you that are chasing the same thing as you, and you understand each other and you cry with each other. It's a lot. You laugh together, but that was the most memorable for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine, because it's so straining, and like you said earlier, nobody understands what you're going through except the ladies that you're going through with it. So I can imagine those friendships that are formed, they're not going to fade away soon.
No, I don't think so. They better not.
And then how did you prepare for the various stages throughout the competition?
So I always feel like I didn't really prepare. I feel like my preparation started from a very long time ago. I always say that if you're destined for something, your lifestyle will reflect it throughout your life. So my preparation started from when I was really young, because I knew that I wanted to be someone who is influential. I wanted to be somebody that will make a difference, a positive impact in my community, and I had to prepare myself throughout my whole life and just grow in the position that I want to see myself in future. So for me, it was always prepare for the future today. So it started a long time ago.
So it came naturally to you, evolving, adapting to every stage.
Yes, basically.
Wonderful. And what do you think set you apart from the other contestants that you reached the top 3?
I, I, I wouldn't be able to say, to be honest. I feel like hard work, dedication, which is something that we all did. We all worked hard in our respective positions, and I wouldn't really say, but I think it's times and seasons. Everybody has their own time and season that is destined for them. So if it is written for you to be at that particular point in your life at that time, then it will happen and it will happen naturally. So I think that's the only thing that would have set me apart is just it was the right season for me at the time.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then I want to find out, what do you think, how do you think you grew throughout the process? What did you learn about yourself?
I've learned a lot. I'm not the type of person to be vulnerable, especially on a public platform. So I've had to learn how to be vulnerable and open up because my intention was to go on there and tell my story because I needed to motivate people and inspire people who were going through what I went through. So I had to be open and vulnerable and show my wounds on screen. So for me, that was the part that really, it was the most challenging but at the same time the most rewarding, and I grew as a person because of that.
Yeah.
So the more you talk about your scars, the more you grow, the more you heal. So I think that's what really helped me to grow.
Absolutely. And talk me through those final moments, like when they announced the top 3 and what was going through your head.
Everything was a blur. To be honest, everything was just a blur from start to finish. I don't even remember most of the things. I was telling my sister that the moment you walk on stage, you just go blank because there's thousands of people screaming. There's probably people watching you, but you just go blank the moment you walk on that stage, and then you just do whatever you need to do and leave. And then when you get backstage, everyone is running around, so you don't really feel time the way that everybody else feels it because you're just busy running around. So everything was a blur, and when we were announced, for me, again, just a blur. So it even reflected in the last question and the last moments because everything happened so quickly that I didn't really get to process everything. That at the last moment, that's why I even lost it because that's the moment that I realized that, oh, actually, this is happening. I'm in the top 3. What's going on? And then that just went again blank. I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. But yeah, so everything is just a blur.
I can imagine. Yeah, like you said, it's so busy, it's so hectic, and I think you're just in that moment. It's like almost like a flight or fight response.
Yes,
you're just trying to take everything in, but it's such a rush.
It
so
literally is. It goes by like this, especially backstage. Like you just switched into a different dress, makeup, everything. You just run on stage. So everything just happened very, very fast. I won't be able to tell you the one specific thing that I probably would have remembered that night because it was so fast.
No, I can imagine, and yeah, it's like it's months and weeks of preparation, all leading up to that, and then in an instant, it's done, it's over.
Gone. Literally, it's like a wedding. I hear people talking about weddings and how quickly they go by. You plan for so long for a few moments, and then it's done. It's
very
crazy.
true. Oh no. And then plans moving forward after Miss South Africa. What are your plans?
So I am gonna be working in the modeling industry or in the media industry at that. I want to continue my advocacy, and I feel like this is the best platform to do so, and this is the right moment to do so while the platform is still hot in a sense. So I want to continue with my advocacy. I don't want to stop speaking up about issues that are dearest and closest to my heart, and just be making sure that somebody is motivated to carry on, because I know I've been in a position where I felt like I didn't want to go on because of everything that I was going through. So I know I wasn't the only one, and to this day I know that I'm not the only one. So I need to continue speaking up about these things so that somebody else knows that if Ona could go through that and she's on the Miss South Africa platform thriving, then so can I, So that was my whole plan going forward.
No, definitely. I think you really opened up that platform to speak more freely about people going through the same challenges, worse challenges than you, to let them know that just because you went through something doesn't mean you can't rise from your circumstances.
Exactly.
And I mean, for you to end up in the top 3 of Miss South Africa, you're such an inspiration and such an advocate. And yeah, I can imagine that's why you're so passionate about this. And like you said, it's the right time, the right platform. So
Yes.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Yes.
And then, who was your biggest inspiration or support system throughout your journey?
Oh, my family, my mom, my husband, my sisters, my cousins. Everyone was just really holding the fort down for me. I think that had it not been for everybody screaming for me and shouting my name, I probably wouldn't have been able to go through this. But I could tell that this really, my journey wasn't just about me. It was about my whole community. And the way Potchefstroom in general was supportive, I knew that I needed to step up and do good in a sense. So that is my motivation really. All my support, my family, my friends, all the supporters in Potch, and yeah, so that was really what kept me going.
Oh, that's lovely. And you spoke about earlier how you're now closing the Potch chapter. You can just quickly, where you headed after this?
So I am moving to Johannesburg. I'm making plans to move to Johannesburg because my work is pretty much going to be there. So traveling is going to be a lot challenging for me. So I need to be closer to where everything is.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot easier that way.
Definitely.
But I'll definitely always come home. Yeah. Home is where the heart is. So I'm always going to come back home.
Yeah. There's something in the Potch water. You just keep on coming back. You can't explain it.
You can't explain it.
And then, what advice would you give to any young woman looking to participate in not only the Miss South Africa pageant or any pageant? What would you advise them?
The first thing is really know yourself. You need to know who you are, know what you're about, know your story and why you are doing what you want to do. That will really carry you throughout the whole process, because I think that most of the time we don't really achieve what we want to achieve because we lack our own identity. So you need to find out who you are and then carry on in that path. So I think really just go dig deep about who you are, where you come from, what's your story, and inspire people with your story. Don't just enter for the sake of entering just because you want to be in the limelight. That's not going to work. Do that because you really do have a passion for it. Because if you don't have the passion for it, you're just going to fall flat. It's not an easy journey. It's going to be a tough one. So if you're passionate about it and you're destined for it, it's going to be a breeze.
Yeah. And I think it's important to stay true to who you are.
Stay true to who you are. That's the most important thing about any competition, about the world in general. If you're true to yourself, you'll be able to tackle whatever life throws at you. So yeah.
No, that's really good. And then, how do you stay grounded and motivated in such a high-pressure situation, not only during the competition, but also in your busy life now?
I always say that the major thing that grounds me is my faith. So I'm a firm believer in Christ, and my faith really grounds me and just puts me at ease all the time, knowing that at the end of the day, God's will always prevail. So I stay grounded in that way. And also my support structure. My family really keeps me in check. They check me and they keep me grounded. So my faith and my family anchor me, and that's how I manage to really stay true to myself and really stay in my lane. So
that's
yes.
good. And do you think your faith also played a big role during this season for you?
Definitely. As much as everything came as like a shock in a sense to the human flesh, I would say that I knew that I was destined for this whole process because of my faith. Somehow God will tell you where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. So I knew that the time to enter was this year because of my faith, knowing and discerning my season and knowing that God has called you for a particular thing at that particular time. So that really played a major role. My faith really played a major role in this whole journey.
That's wonderful. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And then, can you share something about yourself that most people might not know about you?
You know, it's shocking that a lot of people don't know that I'm married. So I am a young married woman. I'm a newlywed. I guess that's probably one thing that I might share. But another thing is that if you ask me about myself, that's the hardest question you could ever ask me. I don't know how to answer questions about myself. So I'm a married woman. I'm newlywed. I think 8 months now. It's the fact that I don't, my memory, 8 months now. I'm in a long distance marriage. I'm a law student. And yeah, I don't know what else to share about myself. There's a lot. I'm sure Google would probably tell you more about me than I would about myself.
It's like the question of what's your favorite movie or what music do you like, and it's like you've never seen a movie in your entire life.
No, seriously, it's tough. It's really not an easy one.
No, that's fine. And then, what is one piece of advice or wisdom that you received during the competition that you take throughout the rest of your life?
Ooh, there's a lot. But the main thing was when I was struggling with vulnerability and opening up. The CEO of the organization told me that you need to own your story and be proud of your story and who you are. Claim your narrative. So that for me was the main thing that I carried through, and just owning who I am, owning my story, and speaking about it boldly. So that for me really helped me throughout my whole journey. That one thing changed my life.
That's
for the
great.
better.
Yeah. And I think you'll definitely take that along with you wherever you go, in every season.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll stick with you.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I want to talk about that final evening where you guys looked beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Those outfits and stuff, were they obviously like custom designed for you? And
yeah, so they were all designed. They were designed by Onalenna, the final gown, right? The white one, Onalenna. So Anel, oh my God, she's such an inspirational woman. She's actually from Clarkson. That's how we kind of somewhat got along, because we're neighbors.
Yes.
She's such an incredible woman. Her designs are exceptional, and you couldn't even make up your mind. Like when you get there and they fit you in one dress, you're like, oh, that one also looks nice. That one also looks nice. So we kind of all we're hoping that we do get whichever dresses that we had envisioned. But yeah, those were the custom made gowns by Onalenna, and you can, if you go to Anal, you will never be able to make up your mind. There's just too many wonderful things there. But yeah.
That's wonderful. And then next year, do you think you'll enter again next year?
I can't enter next year. I have to wait a year and then enter in the So I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say never.
Yes.
But I don't think I will enter again. But I'm not gonna say never. If it's meant to be, I'll go back for sure.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good goal to keep in mind.
Yeah. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll see.
Yes.
I'll pray about it.
Yes. But yeah, I think for now, let your life go its busy course.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
And then we'll decide as time goes on in a year or so.
Yeah. No, but it's good. It's really good. And then if you could describe your Miss South Africa experience in 3 words, what would that be?
I'm going to do 2. Life-changing experience. That's 3. Life-changing experience. Yeah, that's like the perfect description for it. It really changed my life. It broadened my perspectives and broadened my horizons even. So for me, it's a life-changing experience.
I can imagine. I can imagine being on that stage, all those people. But I think ahead of the live shows and everything, it's the whole process of going through it. And
it was a challenging experience, but it was rewarding because everything that we did led up to the final night. So for me, I feel like the work that I put in throughout really defined my whole experience rather than even the final night, because everything else really built me as a person. And then the final night was a blur, so I can't even but everything else was amazing.
Wonderful. And then how did you feel about making top 30 and then you kept on performing week after week and you find yourself in the top 16 and then how did you feel?
Everything felt it felt amazing. It felt like I can't believe that I'm here. Every single time you just wake up in the new week, you're like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. Wow. But the most challenging part would be the eliminations. So you get so nervous throughout the whole process that you wonder if you'll be able to make it through to the next week. But it was an amazing experience, really. It's a reward for me. Yes. And I feel fulfilled because of that.
Of course, of course. And then you mentioned the criteria about the eliminations. Was there specific criteria that you guys knew about that would be looking at, or
so there was a lot. There was even a lot behind the scene that people didn't know about. So there's we have media challenges that we need to submit. We have interviews that we need to do.
Sure.
We have round tables. Yeah, talk your words that they were judging us on. So those were really the criteria. You always had to exceed what you did the last time. So you're your own competition, and you really have to perform and outperform yourself every single time. That was like the main thing. Photo shoots also, you just need to constantly be consistent. That was the main criteria, was consistency, and how well you can be consistent and grow as a person. So there was no set criteria in a sense that you need to be perfect at this, you need to be perfect at that, but rather are you growing as an individual throughout? Because a Miss South Africa is never going to be perfect. She's not a perfect person, but she really exceeds her own expectations and her own limits every single time you grow as an individual.
I think that's very tiring and challenging.
Yeah.
Like you said, week after week, having to outperform yourself. I think that's really exhausting.
It is, but again, it sets you up for success. Even outside of the Miss South Africa platform, you really do need to grow as an individual. Otherwise, nobody wants to feel stagnant. So it kind of trains you for life. So that's another thing that I feel like I'm really utterly grateful for, is the fact that I could learn how to grow as an individual and challenge myself to do better every single time. So yeah, that was like the main thing.
And how was the process? How would you describe the process from entering and then when you got the call saying, like, you made it, you're one of the finalists? How was that for you?
My entry video, I submitted it probably I think it was due at 6. I submitted it around 5. The whole day was really a challenge for me. I decided at the last minute that I'm going to enter, and then the day before I decided I'm going to enter. So I had to make phone calls and be like, you know what, I think I'm going to enter Miss South Africa this year. It's been really at the back of my mind that you need to enter this year. But yeah, I decided at the last moment. But then that day when I had to submit, like, everything was not going well. From having to find a videographer, a photographer, that was really hard. And then at the last moment, I'm just like, you know what, let me not do it anymore. But then a part of me was like, just do it. Yeah. So I submitted at the last minute.
Wow.
And I went through. Imagine if I didn't do it. I wouldn't be sitting here with you if I didn't continue with it. So that's the other thing that I want to inspire a lot of people, that sometimes you just need to do it. Who knows that your life might change, but that simple decision that you make, so just go with your gut feeling, and best believe that who knows that your gut feeling is God telling you, do it. This is where I want you to be. So I think that was like that day. Yeah, it was challenging.
Sure, I can imagine. And like you said, of course, everything went wrong that day.
Of course. Which other? Imagine. You see how sometimes life tests you.
Oh, no.
But it's during those tests that you have to be really resilient, because your reward lies at the end of your resilience. So really push yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
And then ahead of Miss South Africa, did you do any other pageants? Maybe at the varsity, the university?
I did Mr. and Miss Campus in 20-something. I can't remember. It was a while ago. 2020, I think. I can't remember when it was. But yeah, that was the pageant that I did. I didn't really take it that seriously as I should have. But it was also one of the biggest pageants that I've done.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't really learn much then, because I wasn't really focused that much there. So I wouldn't really count Mr. and Miss Campus. But yeah, I would count this one as really being my first ever pageant, because that was where I was really focused on. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was like a good starting platform for you. Yeah. Just that little taste of, okay, maybe this is something we can do with.
I think that's it.
And what message do you have for your supporters or the community of Potchefstroom?
My main message is just to thank everybody. I think that I had one of the most supportive groups of people. My community really backed me from start to finish, and I really hold a lot of gratitude in my heart for Potchefstroom. Potch, really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are amazing, and I hope to make Potch really proud moving forward. And the journey doesn't end here. It continues. And we're still going to put Potchefstroom on the map. So, yeah, thank you so much, Potch.
Lovely. And then I want to find out, do you have any specific charities that you have a soft spot for, that you really want to get actively involved with?
Yeah, so there's an orphanage that is very dearest to my heart. It's Ikaya Labantwana. I go there so often. Even prior to the Miss South Africa organization, I really wanted to do so much for them, but I felt like I was very limited. So now that I have the platform to advocate for those kids that are also victims of everything that I went through, so I really want to continue making a difference at that orphanage through whatever means I can. So that's my plan moving forward.
Oh, wonderful. And if people want to contribute to the charity or the children's home, where can they find them, or can they contact you directly? Or
Ikaya Labantwana is literally, I think you can send me a message on my Instagram and then I'll give you the location. But it is near the traffic department. So yeah, that's where you'll find them, before the bridge going to town from is it Ikono? Yeah. Yes. So it's in that area. So if you can, please, by all means, go there, donate what you have, and really try to help me make a difference for those little boys and girls.
Oh, yeah. And is that going to be your, let's say, your Potch project? And then do you have any other projects in mind for when you move to Joburg, or not yet?
So my first, I've always said that whatever charity you do, you need to start at home. So I'm going to definitely put my focus for now in Potchefstroom before anywhere else. So I'm really going to begin at home, go to that charity, go to schools around my town, and just make sure that I really uplift the kids in my town before I even go anywhere else. So I'm going to be mentorships, I'm going to do school tours, and make sure that the orphanage there is set. I want to try by all means. I'm not making also any promises. So I'm going to try by all means with the means that I have. It might not be a lot, but really what I can do, I will do.
Perfect. And then you mentioned the school tours, so can we keep an eye on your social media for when you're where?
Yes, please. Please keep in watch for my social media. My handles are Onalenna _Constantin.
Perfect. Yes. And then is there anything you would like to add? Anything else you would like to say about just your experience or something personal?
Yeah, no, I just want to really express my gratitude. I can never express it enough. So just want to express my gratitude for everybody that has shown me grace and love. I can never say thank you enough. And when whatever chance I have, I'll always say thank you. So really, thank you so much.
It's only a pleasure. And like I said at the beginning, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I know it's been interview after press conference, media conference, what have you. But thank you so much for taking time. And we are so proud of you, the Potch community. We're really so proud of you. And we wish you all the best in your new journey and your new adventures, your new seasons. And may you just go from level to level, and may you just continue to grow, and we can't wait to see you blossom into an even more beautiful woman.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Only a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in, Potchefstroom. We hope you enjoyed this episode, this special episode of Stroom Stories. We will see you again tomorrow with Anjanette, and then in the afternoon with Driekus and Skoolkompas.